Hi, first graders. I miss you all so much. I hope everything is going well with you at home. I'm starting this YouTube channel to post videos of myself reading books aloud and maybe doing a few short mini lessons just so that we can keep learning and keep growing over this very unexpected break. So the first the first book I'm going to read is The Lorax. Yesterday was supposed to be our school-wide readathon, but obviously, unfortunately, it had to be canceled. So I thought I would read this book today. It's my favorite Dr. Seuss book. I love to read it, so let's read. It's called The Lorax. It's obviously by Dr. Seuss. At the end of town where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing except old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why don't knock at his door? He stays under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of Mufford Moof, and on special dank nights, in midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks, and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count, to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you've paid him away in his snub, his secret strange hole in his glovulous glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by the whisper-mophone, for the secrets I tell are for your ears alone. Down slups the whisper-mophone to your ear, and the old onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he's had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swans rang out in space, one morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts on the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the tree I saw brown barbaloots, frisking about in their barbaloot soups, as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the ripulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees. All my life I'd been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had a sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill and great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazump. I looked, I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I'd chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him, that's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What is that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, There's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed's a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, but it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool thneed. But the very next minute I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along, and he thought that the thneed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor silly guy, you can never tell what some people might buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Hush, if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch. Now his whole family is coming. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds just as busy as beads to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. And look at all the trees they've cut down. I don't think this is going to be good. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. We're gonna run out of truffula trees. But the next week he knocked at my new office door. He snapped, I am the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots, who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go round, and my poor barbaloots are getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, I cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them go, but business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know? I meant no harm, I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, and I biggered the loads of thneeds I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more thneeds. I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Running out of trees, there's only a couple left. It's not good. Then again, he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax, he coughed and he whiffed, he sneezed and he snuffled, he snargled and sniffed. Onceler, he cried with a cruffulous croak, Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swami swans, why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in their throat. So a couple trees back left there. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may fly for a month or a year to escape the smog you've smogged up around here. What's more, snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, let me say a few words about Gluppity-Glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making gluppity-glup, also schloppity-schlup. And you know what you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. Now all the animals have left. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, "Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, and say, bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm biggering on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffula trees into thneeds, which everyone needs." And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. That's not good. No more trees, no more thneeds, no more work to be done. So in no time at all, my uncles and aunts and everyone all waved me goodbye. They jumped into cars and drove away under smoke-smuggered stars. Now all that was left beneath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, gave me a very sad backward glance, as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
That was long, long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. I wonder what the unless means. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. It's the quote that's on our bulletin board. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He let something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds, and the truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack, then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. That's the end of the Lorax. Thank you guys for listening. I hope that you liked the book. Like I said, I'm going to try to do a read aloud every day of the week. So obviously today's Friday, but then starting next week on Monday. I'll also be checking Raz Kids and giving shout outs and dojo points to the friends that I see are on their reading. So make sure you get on Raz Kids and read this weekend. And then just another friendly reminder, parents, please make sure if you haven't done so already, pick up that homework packet from the school office so that your students can be working on that throughout the unexpected break. And in the event that they do finish it, let me know and I can send more work for them to do. So, all right, I miss you guys. I hope I see you soon. Bye.